what is freedom today? In order to be actually free to do what I want, I certainly would like to have state and other bodies taking care of things not only without my choice, but even without me knowing about them. On the other hand, are we aware to what extent, when we freely choose, our choices are predetermined?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So how you been enjoying being here in university?
You know, college has been quite an interesting time, to be honest with you.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, like, some things that I didn't feel back home, it's just people around me, it's just more opportunities, I guess. It helped me open my eyes to, like, I found revelations about myself here.
Okay. What do you mean by revelations?
The fact that I got myself into some bad habits here in college. I didn't think that I was capable. I thought I was different from everyone else. I thought I couldn't be, consumed by bad habits, but, here I am. I just, I fell really hard into substances. Before college, I felt really, really trapped. I was in a slump, basically. I wanted to blame everything on the situation, and it's just I turned to substances. It consumed a large part of my mental.
A form of freedom, which I think has a disastrous impact, and we shouldn't underestimate it. I met at some point in Belgrade in the late 90s, when Milosevic was still in power, some probably ethnic cleansers, nationalists. And I'm even ashamed now for doing this. I got in conversation with them, and they gave me a wonderful short lesson on how nationalist fundamentalism worked. They told me, we experience your Western liberal world as over-regulated. You are all the time bombarded by messages of be politically correct, don't be a racist, be careful what you eat, discipline yourself, and so on and so on. And as they told me openly, I want to eat whatever I want, smoke, I want to steal when I want to beat women, rape them, and so on. And becoming a nationalist, doing some ethnic cleansing, give me this terrifying freedom.
It's just I didn't feel free. That's what it is. And before college, it was just offered to me. But now that I am in college, there's nothing that's stopping me,
What was stopping you before?
It was, family. I care about my family. I didn't want to, I didn't want them to find out that I was using drugs and stuff. And I also had responsibilities. I felt like I had a bright future, and I still do, but it's just so much easier to use. But there's a difference, because I've never been the type of person to overuse anything, overdo anything, because anything, even water, in excess is bad for you. And so I made a clear line between abuse and use, and I was always using. Now the line's getting blurred.
You see, this is the problem of fundamentalism. It's not just there is no freedom. There also is this kind of false freedom, the explosion of this obscene freedom.
Why do you think the line is getting blurry now?
It's, there's just this, it's hard to explain. There's this sort of attraction, some force that just lures me to use again. It's not like I can't stop. I have other things I can do. I like to go skateboarding and stuff.
Do you think that being here in university kind of amplified their ability to consume you? And if so, why?
I'd have to say, entering college, I felt very free, like a bird leaving its nest for the first time. There was no one really stopping me from anything, you know. But at the time, I wasn't needing substances. I was merely doing them for fun. But it just turns into a need at some point. It was like someone put a blindfold on me that, you know, this was the university experience, you know. Everyone's like, oh, you know, in university you can do drugs and alcohol and all that good stuff. You go to parties. But it's really not the university experience that led me to abusing substances. I can't really blame anyone else for my situation. I also can't say that being at a university helped with my situation, because I feel more enabled to use substances now that I have more connections. It's so easy to get drugs in college, especially a school in the city. You know, I was pretending to be free, but I really wasn't. I'm not free.
Do you think that your situation can be applied to many students here?
No, that was just my experience. I think everyone goes through it at some point, but, you know, other people attach to different things like school, alcohol, friends, Netflix, who knows, you know? But it's just, this is the way I dealt with my inconsistency of freedom. And I don't want to blame the university's excessive amount of freedom that they give to their students, but I completely disagree with the notion of university being the place to wild out or to do drugs.
So the lesson is true freedom means looking into and questioning the presuppositions of everything that is given to us by our hegemonic ideology. And by ideology, I don't mean here some explicit teaching, but simply the way in our daily lives we experience our reality. To question everything, including the notion of freedom itself.
You don't think everyone has the ability to escape? Why is that?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people want to admit that their actions are actually due to intrinsic factors. A lot of the times they want to blame situations and the drug itself, but that's not necessarily true. It's perceived freedom. We're not necessarily truly free, but understanding your situation through self-reflection is, I think, key to reaching that freedom that everyone is seeking for. And I guess my advice to people that are in my situation or have friends or family that are in the situation is to think about what motivates you, what matters to you, what is it that you want in your life.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you for coming in and sharing your experience with me.
Thanks for listening, man. It's hard, but everyone gets through it at some point.